Hey everyone, it's Mr. Drama here. I'm just super sorry for not uploading on this channel for a super long time, but I did want to wait for the Total Drama season to drop so I can start giving you guys some reviews. I know a lot of you outside of Italy have not been able to watch, but there is a method that is in English that you can watch. It isn't free, but it is super cheap. I won't tell you on here because again, I feel like if I link it, then it will probably, get taken down. So I do want you, if you inbox me, I can send you that and tell you how to do it. So inbox me and I'll show you how you can watch it. And then after every episode you watch, you can come back here and watch my review and see whether or not you agree. So, but again, I don't want to put that publicly because I think it'll get taken down and that's what I'll be afraid of, okay? So let's get started with our review. First, we have to talk about Chris McClane's new voice. It's not good. It's not good. It's not. I think the person voicing him he's trying his best. It's a familiar voice, so it's definitely somebody who's worked for Total Drama before, but it's not good. It's not the Chris McClane voice we've come to know and love. It's not close either, but I'm kind of glad he didn't try to be like the old voice because then it would have been too obvious. I think it's just better that he does his own voice and we take some time to get used to that. Oh, he's a total Redonkulous Race. It's the guy who does the Redonkulous Race voice. He does the Chris voice. So yeah, it's not Chris's voice. It's not him. It's a little jarring at first, but I'm hoping after the first episode you kind of get used to it. I have not gotten used to it yet, but I'm hoping like as I keep watching, you keep hearing him so much, you'll get used to it and then it'll be fine. But I will say, it is a little jarring at first. So that's my opinion on that. I know a lot of people were worried about that. So there you go. It's my honest opinion. Next, we're going to talk about the new intro song. The new intro song, it's not bad. It's different, so they did change it up a bit. I think like kind of the same lyrics. It's changed up a bit. The tempo is a little bit different, but it's not bad. It's just quick. I like the old intro song where you got to see more personality from each character, but the episode's pretty full, so they do end up because someone does get eliminated in this first episode. It's not like split up into two parts, so maybe the intro song is just condensed for this episode, but it is quick. You don't really see like a bit of each character like you did in the other intro songs. So I will say that it's very quick. Like I didn't even notice each character in the intro when it happened, but I'll keep a closer lookout for the next time. Now I want to run through the characters, give their ranking for the episode, starting off with Millie, who I guess is a research consultant. Her character was weird. Like she's like studying other teenagers. So I don't really get her deal. She didn't really have a lot to do. She's like nice, but other than that, she didn't really have a lot to do in the episode. She's kind of boring. I give her 1 out of 5. Up next, we have Priya, who's like the daughter of super Total Drama fans. They like prepped her for Total Drama life in general and had her compete and challenge her in all these ways to get her on the show just in case it were to ever happen. And she's a little boring too. She gives me protagonist vibes, but she's also a little boring herself. She just seems cautious. She's definitely being set up to be the protagonist is what I'm thinking. She's likable and she seems like an underdog that I'll root for. But like if you've been prepping for Total Drama this whole time, why are you like being touted as this underdog? It doesn't really make sense to me. Like she doesn't give off the vibe that she knows she's doing. She feels more fangirl than like this hyper competent person. So I'll give her a 2 out of 5. Next, we're gonna have Axel. Axel is a Sean ripoff. Like she's like Sean. She's like, I'm prepared to hunt zombies. She's literally like, I'm prepared to hunt zombies. And she's actually a zombie in her little sequence. You can actually see her like rip off the head of a zombie Sean. So they're aware that they're ripping off Sean. So I don't get it. Like what was the point of ripping off Sean? Doesn't quite make sense to me. Why they would redo Sean's character. He's very unique, and so like copying it, like I get there's gonna be some overlap. You're gonna have to copy like the mean girl trope at some point, but redoing the zombie hunter, the zombie obsessed person feels weird. We also didn't really get to see her do much at all. So it's weird for a character that's out there. Usually they get a little bit more to do because they stand out more amongst the crowd. But she also doesn't do much. Um, I feel like she has the capacity to be like. I thought she'd be more army bred. I'm waiting to see how they'll differentiate her from Sean, or if they'll like actually draw that connection because they clearly notice it. And so, but until then, I'll give her. I like the layout, but it's just you literally did it word for word already. So I'll also be giving her a 2 out of 5. Up next, we got Z, who's actually like this real chill. He reminds me of Shaggy. I don't know if that's what they were going for, if that was on purpose, but he reminds me of Shaggy. He's like really chill, really relaxed. Like he has this really funny scene with Ripper, which is we'll discuss him next, where Ripper's trying to antagonize him. He's just like I don't care, like, and he's not I don't care like moody kind of gothic I don't care like Gwen's I don't care. He's more I don't care like I'm just like living life. Like I'm not bothered by anything. So he's a little more fun. They give him a little bit more to do. They give him a couple more scenes than other people. He's an enjoyable character, way more enjoyable than I thought he would be by looking at him. So I kind of like his character. I vibe with it. I'll give his character a 4 out of 5. I just need to see how his relationships are going to grow with the other cast members, and maybe his score will go up in future episodes. Next is Ripper, who's like he's just like a bully, but he's like a failed bully, so it's a little more enjoyable to watch. Not just like he's an asshole that's constantly being put in his place. Like he's the butt of the joke, which makes him work. So in that regard, I think he's actually kind of entertaining. Like I think this failed bully in a world like the kids don't really do like that classic bullying anymore. So for him to be a classic bully in this kind of new era, he's showing that he's like a bygone thing. Like he's past his point where anyone cares. So he's a little funny actually. I kind of like him as a character. I kind of like him as an auxiliary antagonist. He works for me. I'll give him a 4 out of 5. After that, we have Bowie, who's basically being set up to be the villain. He's the openly gay character who's like, I'm very competitive, kind of like Courtney actually, very competitive, shows that he has a lot of skill, likes attention, like he's prom king and prom queen at the same time, which I thought was really funny. He like references being gay a lot. Well, not a lot, but it's like more than like necessary. It's like I'm a gay man, so I can say this, but like he's like, oh, the straight people. Oh, I'm like, and it didn't even really make sense. I was like, where is that coming from? Like, there's some things we make fun of straight people for, but like the things he was making fun of didn't make sense, and I didn't quite catch it. Like, what's the joke here? But other than that, I think he's actually a really good character. I think he's a strong character. He's clearly going to be the villain if you watch till the end, and I kind of like him, so 5 out of 5. Next is Emma. Emma was kind of boring. She's like some other character's ex, but the other character's way more interesting than her. She was a part of like this YouTube program where they would like do daredevil stunts, but she broke up with him because I guess it was some stunt that went wrong and some animals got hurt. She's like an animal lover, but like not like DJ, where it's like a bigger part of his character. She's like talks about it, but you don't really see her interact with any animals like DJ did. Other than that, she doesn't really have much of a personality. She's a little boring. Honestly, a lot of these characters were really flat, and not in the fun stereotype way, but like I don't know what stereotype you're supposed to be, and I think she was a victim of that. She was just boring. Like she was complaining a lot, but she was just boring. Like they could have replaced her with anything. Like, why were you with this other character? It didn't make sense to me. So Emma overall kind of boring. 1 out of 5. Next is Damien, who I really like his design. I really want him to like, but he's a nothing character. Like there's nothing. His only character trait is he doesn't know anything about Total Drama, and they don't really give him much to do. Even in that, even his little intro, there's like not a lot going on. I'm curious to know more about him because like there's nothing. He's literally a nothing character. Like there's nothing about him, so it was pretty boring. Like 1 out of 5. I really want to like him. Love his design though. After that we have Chase, which is Emma's ex-boyfriend, and he's like a daredevil, so he's like more fun. He's like more, I'm down for the cause things. Like I'm really just willing to take any challenge. He seems like to be the head of this YouTube show where they kind of do like, Jackass. If you ever watch Jackass, they kind of like have that thing going on, and he's kind of fun. He's a fun character. He just seems like pretty much um nonchalant to whatever Emma's angry about. He like really doesn't care that much, but not like an asshole way. But he's like, I don't know why you're mad at me. He's just one of those bros. He's fun. I'll give him a 4 out of 5. MK, she's a kleptomaniac. She's kind of like grungy. But other than that, you don't really see a lot of her. She's basically like playing the side, like trying to go under the radar, and she even says it. She seems more strategic, but we still don't see a lot from her. Like I want to know why she's a kleptomaniac. I hope they give her a little bit more backstory instead of just having her steal randomly for no strategic purpose, because that would be boring. Like I need to see some backstory, something that fleshes that out. Because other than that, then she'll just be a kleptomaniac, which is boring. So for her, I think she has potential. 3 out of 5. Next is Caleb, who is just a Justin ripoff. Is Justin. Everything about his character is Justin. There's nothing different. And Justin was pretty boring. So I was hoping they do more with him. I'm hoping they do more with him in the future. But as of now, he's pretty boring. There's really nothing there. He has potential. He seems nice. He actually gets lines, unlike Justin. But it's just Justin. Like I don't know how else to describe him. Well, 1 out of 5. Next is the Hockey Bros. I forget their name. Raj and Wayne. They're pretty much the same character. They're bros. Like they're like hockey bros. Like, but they're kind of fun. They have a fun dynamic. They're on different. I think they're on different teams. No, they're not on different teams. They're on the same team, and they have a fun dynamic. I like them. I think they could grow. 4 out of 5. Next is Julia. Julia, I actually think is kind of funny. She's like one of those fake deep valley girls, like that with the crystals and stuff. She seems the most original of everyone here. Think about a Don like character, but if Don is completely superficial and doesn't believe anything she's actually saying, that's what this character is. She's like Instagram material girl masquerading as some type of deep soulful girl. So she's an interesting character. I think she's fun. I think her dynamics is fun. I think her little scene with her cell phones was kind of funny. So I'll give her a 4 out of 5. I'm interested to see what they do with her. Next is Nichelle, and I thought she'd have some type of connection to Julia, but they're not connected at all. Nothing about them is similar. Nichelle is a celebrity. She's kind of like self obsessed and vain, but she is not too much extra. She's just like a celebrity. She's not a down to earth celebrity, but she wasn't like obsessed with her phone in the way Julia was, right? So she's just like, I'm a celebrity. I'm doing this. She doesn't even rub it in people's face. She just has this air of like, oh, I don't want to hurt my money maker. Like she does the challenge and things like that. So she's a go getter, but she's a celebrity, and I think she's kind of fun. She seems like she'll be a little bit more interesting, but I think everyone likes her, and I like her too. 5 out of 5. So last but not least is Lauren, or Scary Girl. They called her Lauren. When the version I watched, they called her Lauren. They did not call her Scary Girl. I don't think they called her Scary Girl the whole show. So maybe that's a name like she earns throughout the show. But for now, I do remember they called her Lauren. But she's the most interesting character by far, and I think that's by design. She's not like people thought she's like Izzy, but she's not like Izzy. She's more like, it's Goth and Izzy mixed together. She's like horror fan kind of girl. She's very interesting. I think she's funny. I think she's actually creepy. A lot more gothic than Gwen was. She's crazy like Izzy, but she's antagonistic crazy. Like Izzy was just, I have no awareness of what's going on. I'll do whatever I want crazy. She's like, oh, I'm out to get people. Like I want people to feel harmed by me, and that makes her a little more fun, and everyone's just kind of like, ugh, well, okay. So she's fun. I think she's funny. I enjoyed her character. 5 out of 5. Now we're gonna have to talk about the challenge, which is like this. I didn't like the challenge. Okay, what I liked about Total Drama Challenge is like you could really tell the episode by the challenge. They were like memorable. This challenge was not memorable. It was just like go through with these buckets and then try not to like and get to the finish line the quickest was basically the challenge. If I were to sum it up in a couple of words, I really wish they would go back to themed challenges. So every episode is based, the challenge is based off a certain theme, like different countries, different movies, or different camp activities. This just really feels like, what are you guys doing? I don't think they like it. It feels out of nowhere. Although I will say they might be going for this. It does feel like a challenge from Survivor, but that's not as interesting in a cartoon as it is on Survivor. So they're like, because not everyone even got to do all parts of the challenge. It's like two people were going through the little obstacle course for each team. The one was pulling, and two were pulling, two were guiding. So you have like four of your characters just pulling a rope, so they have nothing to do. Then you have another two of your characters just yelling out directions, and then the other two are actually doing, the interesting parts of the scene. So it made the challenge very unmemorable. We didn't really get a lot of, usually the challenges where you see most of the character development. We didn't really get a lot of that. I feel like we got way more in the first episode of Total Drama Island and Total Drama Action and Total Drama World Tour. This felt really kind of like useless, like we didn't really get any character development. Like at least make everyone able to participate in a more grand way in the challenge. This I don't think did that. This challenge was working for less people, but because we're introduced to the whole cast, give us something where we get to know the entire cast. Maybe it's like a relay race, and you have a 6-leg relay, so every single contestant has to go through a part of the relay, and we see kind of how they compete in their different arenas. In that way, I think that would probably been better. But this way, we don't really get to see much of any of the characters throughout the challenge. So I ranked the challenge 1 out of 5. Yeah, 1 out of 5. I know it sounds like I'm being really negative. I did actually enjoy the episode, but I do want to be honest, fair, and true with my review. So I will say the challenge is 1 out of 5. But again, they have more of a limited time, limited episode format. So I see why some things went by the wayside. Now, spoiler, big spoiler warning, huge, major, big spoiler warning. I'm going to go over the elimination, huge, major, big, super big spoiler warning. Please leave if you don't want to be spoiled by the elimination. Big spoiler warning. Go watch first, please. Inbox me if you want to know how to watch it in America because you're not Italian, please. And you've been warned. Okay. Let's talk about the elimination. It was rather quick. They kind of rushed to it. You could tell they were running out of time. I liked the elimination. I liked who got eliminated, which is Caleb. Caleb ended up getting the boot. Because Bowie they kind of like teased that Bowie would like Caleb, but no, he ended up getting the boot, and because Bowie felt threatened by him, which I think was a really interesting. But I wish there was more build up to it. So that elimination, I'm gonna give it a. I'll give the elimination a 3 out of 5. I like a little more build up, a little more foreshadowing. Like show us some confessionals without the characters saying the name of the person they're eliminating, but we can start to piece together what's going on. But it was it wasn't what you expect. You didn't expect Caleb to go. I'd rather him stay because he seems a little more slightly more interesting than Emma. Emma's very boring to me, but I like how it sets Bowie up as a villain. I think they sacrificed Caleb's character to enhance Bowie's, which will probably be important throughout the season. And that is my review. Tell me what you guys think, and if you'd like to see more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.